Mind blown. Gravity. Ever wonder why gravity exists? We know what it does. It attracts objects to one another, and the more massive the object, the stronger the gravitational pull. We know that it creates a livable place for us. We know that it bends space and time, and can be so strong that not even light can escape its grasp. We can't see it, but it's everywhere and affects everything. But why? Why must objects, from atoms to entire galaxies, be attracted to one another? In all of our science to date, no one can actually say what it is, beyond that it just is. So let's dive in. Gravity is a force that attracts all things with mass or energy. It is the weakest of the four fundamental forces of nature, but it determines the motion and structure of planets, stars, galaxies, and even light. Gravity depends on the mass and distance of the objects involved. Gravity arises from atoms, and those atoms bind into mass, and then the mass generate more gravity to bind more mass. Greek philosopher Aristotle said that objects fall because each of the four elements, earth, air, fire, and water, had their natural place, and these elements had a tendency to move back toward their natural place. Isaac Newton defined gravity as a force that attracts all objects to all other objects. Albert Einstein said gravity is a result of the curvature of space-time. Stephen Hawking, in his book A Brief History of Time, says that gravity is the first of four fundamental forces of nature, which is universal, and the gauge of the effect is dependent on the particle's mass or energy. The other forces are electromagnetic forces, weak nuclear forces, and strong nuclear forces. Everything we see, hear, feel, taste, smell, and experience are a result of these four fundamental forces, but gravity is the least understood. I think that for the moment, the only way to understand why or what or why it exists is to imagine the absence of it. Without it, we don't have the elements of the periodic table, or planets, or stars, or galaxies. We would just have random atoms interacting with electromagnetic and nuclear forces. In fact, we may not even have that, since the beginning of the universe, so far as we know, was the result of an explosion of everything, which was held together in a pinpoint by gravity. Perhaps many, even millions of universes have tried to form and failed, or formed without the optimal combination of fundamental forces, thus not forming elements, planets, stars, and galaxies that could then generate beings, such as us, to then wonder about it. Think of this as Darwinism at the scale of a universe. Only the optimal combination or makeup lives to create sentient beings, such as us. This is why it is, because it just had to be baked into the formula of this universe in order to get us to this point. The universe is still expanding from its initial inception, and may one day fall back onto itself, due to gravity, into another infinitely dense singularity. This may go on in unending cycles. So perhaps Aristotle had it exactly correct. Everything has a tendency to move back toward their natural place. Mind blown. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to have your mind blown daily. It's free, you know.